Hello and welcome to my new November newsletter. I'm Phyllis Brown, and it's been an interesting transition between October and November. I think for myself, I really sort of got to October and just felt such a relief because September was such an intense month energetically. And now that we're into November, it's almost like, wow, where did October go? It just seemed to melt into the physical plane without us really being aware or connected to, well, what happened and what was I doing and what was that all about. So the transition has been really seamless between October and November. And the exciting thing is that we're coming into 11/11. And for myself, I have two 11s in my birthday number. So in my name, I can never say the word numerically, I have two 11s. I'm born on the 11th, and my name is an 11. And so the number 11 is something that I really, really resonate with. It's a really amazing number for me. It's a double one, so it's a new beginning, but then it's setting down platforms. It's a number 4, so we're reaping the rewards of setting down the platforms. So there's lots of permutations around this number. And one of the things that's really, I suppose, come to light for me is the whole aspect of celebrating success. I think we get to this time in the year and sometimes we can feel a little bit worn down by the day-to-day challenges. We can feel worn down by things that haven't gone to plan. For those of you who are really, really good and you have your New Year's list, or your goals that you've set out, and you may be looking at your goals, looking at where you've come so far, and you might get a little bit despondent about the things that you haven't achieved. However, as we come close to the end of this year and the end of a decade, we're moving into a brand new decade. It's about looking back and going, well, what have I achieved? Where have I come? What is it that I can sit back and be really proud of? Because all the while that we go from day to day and we're putting ourselves out there and we're working and we're working and our head is at the millstone, we're not seeing those successes. And I think one of the key things for humans and human behavior is that we often recognize success in other people. We may not necessarily recognize success in ourselves. And so I suppose a small success, and I think it's the small things that are a win. I think for myself, if I think back to April, having bought over a company and applying new systems, applying new ways of working, being someone new at the helm. It was all a little bit much for some people. But every positive outcome, I would say to my admin assistant and the team, the marketing and the data production, it's a win. It's another little win. It's another win. It's another win. And the more that you recognize those small wins, they then create the big win. They all add to the bigger picture. And suddenly you find you're on the winning team. Suddenly you find yourself that you are successful, that you can actually label yourself as success. And that is okay. It's an okay thing to be successful. It's something that we strive for. But in some cultures, it may not be celebrated. It may not be something that we talk about. We need to maybe be a little bit reserved, hide our light under a bush or a bushel. I can't quite remember the phrase, but there are different cultures and different boundaries. But celebrating the small wins on a day-to-day basis, whether it be drinking your water quota per day. I think for me, I had a physical boot camp, first physical training session in 26 years. I couldn't walk yesterday, but I'm celebrating the success that I can walk today, that my body is feeling a little bit more like normal. And I know that the more that I do those exercises, then the more my body will catch up and recognize, and the muscle memory will be there. And that's definitely something that I will be celebrating. But I'm actually just celebrating the success and sense of willpower and determination to book that process in, and to allow myself to overcome those fears, or to overcome the sense of should I, shouldn't I, will I, won't I. So, celebrating success. We've got lovely Leta Martin with us this afternoon, so lovely to see you online, Leta. And so as we sort of look at celebrating success, those small incremental things, lots of small changes create the large change. And so that's what I really would like you to think about. The more that you recognize that you're successful, then actually other people will also recognize that you're successful. And as we're coming into 11/11, it's really important to start to recognize who you are. 11/11 is a highly, highly spiritual number. The veils between ourself and the extraordinary world that's out there, the other worlds that are out there, the 11/11 gateway will open. We had the Lions gateway opened up in August on 8/8. I'm 11/8, so I am a Leo. But I feel that with 11/11, we can start to allow our vibration to look ahead to that new decade. How exciting is it to be going into a new 10-year phase? We're coming up to the age of Aquarius. So 11/11, this beautiful cosmic gateway that is about to open tomorrow. So what does that mean for us? So I think in my newsletters this year, we've talked about being fifth dimensional, moving into sixth dimensional, and working with my clients. It's having them really understand what that means for them. And what it means is that we're seeing people who are drama focused, who can't let go their grudges, they're unforgiving, uncompassionate, hold a grudge, bear ill, they don't take responsibility for their actions. Everyone else is to blame. That's definitely third dimensional thinking. Fifth dimensional thinking is we can actually see that drama, we're looking at it, and we go, well, actually, that's your drama. That doesn't really resonate with me. I don't need to get involved. But it's also about watching your thoughts. As your thoughts start to slip down into that drama queen mind, bring it back up. And don't attach to your fears, your resentments, your anger. And that's what the 11/11 is all about. Being aware of spiritual connections tomorrow. Being aware of your guides coming close, those thoughts and those feelings. Having a complete awareness of body, mind, and soul. Remember, your body is a barometer. Your body is the gateway through the chakra system for any felt or unseen or seen energies, to give us that guidance, to put those positive thoughts in our mind, to put a sense of direction into our thoughts or our pathway, so we know that we're going in the right direction. And in that fifth dimensional world, we want to be really aware of what we're getting and where we're getting it from. And so the 11/11 gateway is a cosmic gateway to new spiritual insights. So what does that mean? What does that mean? I suppose talking to someone the other day, they were talking about things that they hold as their security. And They had some really deep dreams about whatever they held as security, it was being taken away from them. And that's where you're working, that 1111, the fifth dimensional thinking, you're working through your fears. And that's what I said to this lovely person. I said, oh, I think that's you working on your spiritual self, your soul self, during your nighttime sleep to really overcome your fears, to really overcome your fears. Another person that I know, and their spiritual gateway, their psychic wall is just coming down. And so it's quite extraordinary for them, feeling a rush of energy, not being aware of where it's coming from. What do we do? And again, at nighttime, when the veils are really thin, when the conscious mind and the superconscious mind can move beyond our physical body out into this cosmic world that we live in, they found that quite overwhelming. So it's about taking control, being in control, knowing that you actually are in control, knowing that you can ask spirit, you can ask your guides to step back, you can ask them to give you some space. And this is where you know that you are in charge of your spiritual self. So 1111 is a big day. It's, I suppose, of course, there's a double number in every single month. But I suppose for me, 1111, being born on the 11th and having my name come to the number 11, I get quite excited. I get excited about the thinning of the veils and seeing what new pathways, what new chapters are about to open for me cosmically, spiritually, and on a soul level. So we've kind of got a dual process with the newsletter this week. It's about celebrating success. It's about owning who you are as a person. It's about recognizing just the small wins, as I say, drinking your water quota for the day, or accomplishing something, meeting a deadline, having a deadline, and you go, yep, done that today. I suppose for me, comedically, it's about actually just cooking an amazing meal, which I managed to do yesterday. Compliments to the chef were had, and that's always quite funny. It's a standing joke in our lives, in Mike and our lives, because really I can come up with some real Bridget Jones clonkers in the kitchen. So, that was really lovely. Brand new yet recipe. Managed to have all of the ingredients, because I do tend to chuck in different ingredients if I don't have the right thing. And it was just like, wow, actually, that was really quite tasty, quite nice. So celebrating the wins, celebrating your successes, and owning them, really owning them. What I would say is that when you do own your own success, then you might find that you're stopping looking for validation from other people, because that's a habit we can get into. I've got this idea. What do you think? I want to do this. What do you think? And we look for validation from other people. But actually, if we validate ourselves and we go, yeah, I'm going to do that today. How's that going to feel? Then we can feel that sense of accomplishment, rather than what we think is a good idea. And then we hand that power over to someone else who might actually come back and go, well, I actually don't think that's a good idea. And then you're left in that quandary of, well, should I just do it anyway? Or are they right? So celebrating success within yourself is not asking for validation from other people. So be aware, be really aware of your energy as we sort of transit through November and we transit through December, coming into that new decade. I know for myself, I think November is one of those months that it can feel quite a long month. I suppose in the Northern Hemisphere, it's getting dark. From Aberdeen, so it was really dark by sort of 4 o'clock. And not light until 8:30 in the morning. So our days were very, very short. Here in the summer hemisphere, it's light at 6 o'clock and it's still light at 8:30, 9 o'clock now. And as we go into December, we're going to get really long days. So November can start to make us feel either like hibernating, or for us in the Southern Hemisphere, like spending, being more outside, more connected with nature, being part of nature. And if that instigates new habits in you, a walk around the garden every night, then celebrate that success. Be the person that you want to be, and be in touch with what feels right for you. I think that 2019 has been a particularly, I don't know, I suppose a particularly difficult year for people emotionally. And I feel for myself in connecting to Archangel Sandalphon, who is the angel of the heavenly choirs. So quite often I'll get songs that are my next learning lesson. And the song that I'm sort of tuning into at the moment is Glenn Campbell. Oh, I'm giving my age away now. Old, not an old entertainer, but he's from eons ago. And but it's the song True Grit, and there's the movie True Grit. There's the original one with John Wayne, which of course would be mine. Glenn Campbell was in that one. He was the young cowboy, and there's been a remake of True Grit, just about 10 or 15 years ago. But the song, it is itself about, finding the true grit within yourself, finding your strength and your courage, to wait for other people to come along and help you find that process. But don't let resentments, anger, or a grudge hold you back. Don't let anger be your driving force to succeed. It's about coming back to self and finding that inner peace. And even if that's a process of letting go old grudges, old hurts, old pain, that's a success. Celebrate that success. Give yourself the time and energy that you need so that you can radiate that success. You can really radiate the new positive aspect about who you are. So that's where I'm at. That's been my observations for sort of October into November. A little play on numbers, so be really aware of those numbers coming up. I've got my last 2 workshops coming up. So I've got Reiki 2 at the end of November, the 23rd, 24th of November. We've also got the Angelic Soul Connection, which is working with Archangel Raphael and Archangel Chamuel. And that's uncovering me. It's uncovering me, and it's also sort of applying strengths and finding your strengths, understanding what your strengths are. So for those of you who possibly don't understand where your successes are, or don't feel that you can recognize, you can't give yourself that process of recognizing success, then that might be a workshop for you to think about. It's a really, really nice one. It's new for this year. So this will be my 3rd, I think either my 3rd or my 4th teaching of this course. So it's a beautiful space to be in, and I'm looking forward to the ladies that I've already booked in. So it's going to be a nice class where people are just going to find out a little bit about themselves, and then how to reinvent themselves, get ready for that new year, that new decade, and who are we going to be in that 10-year phase. That's the key thing to think about. I hope all is well in your life, and I hope that as we move into December, you're not too stressful. Remember, Christmas is just one day. Remember to enjoy the actual month, enjoy it day by day, and not just focus on the end of the month, because there is more to December than just that one day. So maybe do something different. Maybe celebrate the success of not overspending. Celebrate the success of feeling in control. Celebrate the success of having a harmonious family gathering. Lots of ways to make yourself feel good about yourself. You have that opportunity, and you've got that right to tell yourself how well you've done, because there's no point in waiting for other people. So we'll see you in December as we get ready for the new year. And I might talk about some of the new things for next year because I'm changing my teaching process altogether. I found a new location, so I'm really excited about that. And yes, hopefully you'll have lots to celebrate. Hopefully you'll all be celebrating as we move into this beautiful gateway opening tomorrow and into the final aspects of 2019. Until the next time, take care. Thank you, Letta, for joining us here on the YouTube Live. Hope that's been helpful for you. Hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you the next time. Take care for now. Bye.